here is the thing. You see, in the scripture, we are told that we are letters, okay? Wherever you are, you can't hide. In fact, according to Spice FM today, character is like pregnancy, so you can't hide. No matter how long it is, it will definitely show. That is what we learned from Spike FM today, okay? Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is going to be very brief. My name is Regina. Today we are talking about 5 good lessons we have learned from a man called Magoha. He is late now. The country is mourning him. So we are going to draw 5 lessons from his life, and we want you all to learn about him. So without further ado, let's dive in. But don't forget, if you are new here, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, and let's move this particular family forward, okay? Thank you guys for all the support given. I really appreciate you guys. Okay, let's go. Now, here is the thing. You see, in the scripture, we are told that we are letters, okay? Wherever you are, you can't hide. In fact, according to Spice FM today, character is like pregnancy, so you can't hide. No matter how long it is, it will definitely show. That is what we learned from Spike FM today, okay? One of the African proverbs. No matter how you try to hide that kind of bad character, it will definitely show. All right, so from this analogy, wherever we go, people will always see us. So one of the things we learned from Magoha is his commitment to his wife. Yes, for those of you who are going to get married, this is something you need to learn. Okay, it's not quite long we got to know where his wife came from. Okay, he kept his family life private. Everything about that man was just private. Okay, he was so committed to his family. He was so committed to his wife. Of course, you all know that he married an outsider, a foreigner. Okay, he loves his wife to the very end. He loved what he got. Now, let me bring a particular instance to you. When I was watching his wife on the television a few days ago, the wife said, barely 1 month, said that he was going to marry her. And that was the first time they even picked quarrel. For goodness sake, we barely meet. We barely know each other. So why are you telling me you want to get married to me? It's okay. You can now start telling people that you don't want to marry me.
I want to thank you people very much for coming, and I want to remove that serious face of Magoha so that you know the other side of Magoha. Exactly 1 month after we met, he started telling people we are going to get married. And that was the first time we had a quarrel. I said, how can you do that? He said, no, I know you will not accept because I'm not a Nigerian. So you go and tell them why you can't marry me.
Okay, he knew what he wanted. He loved this woman from day one. He set his very eyes on somebody, and he went. I know he must have gotten his own share. Okay, but then he would not allow any of this negative side talk to distract him. This man was devoted to his wife. Okay, and that reflected on. Listen to what the wife said. Listen to this.
Those days, we Nigerians marrying from the same village was the norm because somehow we were never related. So to hear that I left the village, left the town, left the county, those we still call them states, we call them states, left the other states, left the whole of Nigeria. It was like, you're crazy. Everybody said, you are crazy. What's wrong with you? In fact, there was this slang that What is there in Sokoto is there in Shokoto. Sokoto is the farthest point northwest of Nigeria. Shokoto, written the same way, but pronounced S-O-K-O-T-O. Shokoto means trouser in Yoruba language. So they say, what you are looking for so far away is here. Where are you? So they will say, what did they say?
And of course, you can see that he was so devoted to his wife that even when she got an accident, she had an accident, he said, of course you listen to it, right? I want you alive, whether with leg or without leg. Okay?
Another incident was when I had a near-fatal accident 24 years ago when I was coming back from a delivery. I had a head-on collision and my car turned back to facing where I was coming from. And some people it was around 2 a.m., Holy Thursday. And the people came out from one of the men, they told me, I know you, I'm going to save you. Where do you want to go to? I said, take me to Nairobi Hospital. When I arrived there, the students, they all said, you were my teacher. I said, now I know I'm in safe hands. So I now opened my handbag, because all along I held my handbag to my side. I opened my handbag, I called him, I said, I have an accident, I'm okay, I'm here. And the first thing he said when he came and saw me was, I want you alive, with or without your leg. And I answered him, I said, no, I'm alive, number one. Number two, the leg has no permission to go anywhere. I will come back, my legs will come back together, and I will go back to my high heels.
He valued his wife so much. Okay, he was so devoted to his wife to the very end. Number two, still on his wife. He chose his wife over having thousands of children. For goodness sake, in African setting. Don't forget, he married over 40 years ago, or 40 years now. They have been together. He married this woman. And a typical African man that we know should have, back then, should have up to 10 to 15 children, or at least 5. But then, according to the wife, listen to this.
So when we continued, got married, when I was pregnant with my son, I was in between life and death with my blood pressure. He told me, if this is what pregnancy is all about, this is closed, this case is closed. And when I had my son, because of the blood pressure and everything, I didn't have any milk. You can't imagine, by 6:30, I had 2 liters of fruit juice, squeezed by him every morning before going to work. And the others used to say, what type of a man is this?
When he noticed that there was no breast milk, there was nothing, with the blood pressure and all that, what he now said, if this is what pregnancy is all about, I think we are done. He chose to have 1 child for the sake of the wife to be alive. Oh my, what are we talking about? He needed his wife around him, instead of endangering the wife's life. Of course, some of us, some men will rather have more children than having this woman alive, okay? They would rather go for many, maybe the way it is, they'll start jumping from Jerusalem to Galilee, all right? Imagine those who have been married now, and maybe God has not returned to you on time, or the fruit of the womb. Barely 3 years, you have started complaining, you jump from Galilee to Nazareth, looking for the fruit of the womb, or getting children from left, right, and center. But he was so devoted. He chose his wife's life over, having thousands of children. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we can learn. When you are devoted to somebody, you love that person to the very end. You know that, come what may, this person that I've chosen will be treasured. He loved his foreign wife. And from some of you who have been, who have been desiring to marry an outsider, these are things you need to learn. All right. He must have gotten his own side of the story, as in, that is number 3. The negative part. Are there no people in Kenya? Are there no women in Kenya? On the other hand, the wife also, it wasn't common for her to marry, for other people to marry outside their state. Of course, in Nigeria, we have local government, we have states, and we also have federal. For you to leave all those to go across the border to marry, haba. That is how you'll be told, haba. You need to, calm down. It wasn't common, but she knew exactly what she wanted, and she went ahead for love. When your mind is made up, when you have that deep conviction within you, you don't have to back off. She fought for love. She loved her husband to the very end. And this is one thing we need to learn. In today's dispensation, a lot of women are going into marriage for different reasons. We go in there for, to drain the man. You can see, the woman stayed. She stayed. These days, when somebody get married, 4 or 5 years, trouble. Who told you they are not? They have their own side of the story. But then they stick to death. They stick. You are the one to fight for your marriage, okay? They stick. They work very close to each other. All right? These days, people no longer stay married. And you begin to wonder. The other day, I was talking on Facebook. Why do we have older people still intact in marriage? But then, those who are married right now, they are no longer interested. You marry today, in 5 years' time, you see the marriage is dissolved. Why are we having these problems? So these are things we need to emulate. They stay till death. They stay till God decides in his own time to call one party. Okay? I don't know if I'm communicating. So you see, this is something we need to learn. We need to be committed to our partners. We need to be committed to our spouse. All right? No matter what. This woman showed love. And in fact, I love her from day one. When I started hearing about this woman, not because she's a Nigerian, but because there are things you need to emulate from those who have been in this life before you. You learn and you allow them to be an inspiration to you. I want to be like that to my husband. I want to stay. I want to stick by. You get close to these people and you learn wisdom. All right? For her to stay like that, I mean, tried. Sincerely, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you, Mama. So for those of you who have been, or the older women who have been staying together in marriage, may God bless all of you. These are things you need to learn from the older generation. They stay till God decides to call one party. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, another point I want to raise here is the way he loved his mother-in-law. Of course, we listened to the wife, okay? She said, he almost broke down.
His closeness to my mom was so strong that when my mom passed on, it was like he had lost a part of him. He almost broke down in church.
In the church, when he learned that the mother-in-law has passed on, that is the kind of relationship he had with his in-laws. And of course, you can see how, if you watch television the other day, how Nigerians came out in large number, okay, just for the funeral. For goodness sake, they graced the occasion. He loved his wife's people. He loves the family. He loved him. You know, that is the tips he has left behind. If you are married and you don't regard your wife's people, so what are you doing? This person did not fall from the tree. He first of all had regards for the family. And that is why the wife, as I speak to you, the wife will continue to love him even till the next life. I'm telling you, when you love a woman, that woman will go extra mile for you. Okay? Look at the way she was able to, garner all the people to come and grace the occasion for the husband. It is, according to what I listened to one Pauline said, in Nigeria, we don't just cry, we celebrate because he has lived a very good life. Magoha is a man you need to emulate. For those of you who are going to marry, an outsider, you want to leave this country to marry. In fact, the trend is a lot of Nigerians are marrying Kenyans. And I love what I'm seeing. Seriously, For those of you, in fact, in my church, someone actually told me, no, Regina, if you see a brother there, these are trends. We need to appreciate what we have. Nigerians and Kenyans are having a lot of things in common. Please, Magoha has left a legacy. If you are marrying, make sure, whether abroad or not abroad, whether a foreigner or not, make sure you love your wife's people. That's the truth. You cannot, look scornfully at your mother-in-law and expect good things to come to you. It's very important. Look at how it prospers. Because honestly, he loved from the heart. He loved people around him. And the wife can attest to that. He said he was always out there. That his father taught him that when your enemy is in the ground, don't kick. You understand? You don't go ahead to use your hand to maybe like revenge or something. He loved people from the bottom of his heart, and he never took revenge, especially when he said that you hurt him and you are down. You are maybe financially or whatever down the woman meant. I don't know. You understand? When someone upsets you, you don't have to go ahead to hurt the person. He was always, according to the wife, he was a forgiving man. He loves forgiving people. Okay? So the trick is, if you are marrying, that's what you need to take home. If you are marrying, ensure that you love your wife, you respect the in-law. Seriously. And the same thing goes to women. Women, if we are married, of course, if the woman was not so good to him, there's no way they would have stayed this long. We need to balance the equation. If I marry, the man did not fall from the tree. I need to love his people as well. Okay? Every woman has one particular family she will be going to. So you need to love your family, your biological family, to enable you extend that same love to your husband people. Seriously, it's a give and take thing. You can't, you cannot just love your family and disregard your in-laws. It doesn't work out that way. Okay? Of course, the Bible says we should treat others the way we want to be treated, isn't it? So that is the thing. Those are the things we need to, learn from Magoha. Okay? Aside from that, finally, I want to bring to your notice how he took his job seriously. Of course, we all know how this COVID-19 dealt with everybody, dealt with so many countries globally. Everyone was complaining, okay? And it would have been a mess. COVID-19 came as a mess. It messed up everybody, including education sector. He was there. As a CS, he was there to balance up. He was always giving us updates. He was a very serious man. He took his job seriously, okay? And with he was able to maneuver and make sure that he gave his word that by 2023, the system would have been stabilized. And that is exactly what we are seeing. In January, children went back to school and everything is normal. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have learned something from Late Magoha. But before I bring this section to a close, I want to ask you, what kind of a man are you? Are you a man of your word? Because according to the wife, his 3 o'clock is 3 o'clock. And if 3 or 2 o'clock that he has given the wife, if the time elapses, what he would do is to call the wife. He was always keeping the wife updated. A man of integrity he was. He loved his wife with all his heart. He put his family first. If you listen to the wife from the whole video, family comes first. You understand? He loved his in-laws. He kept to his word and he was dedicated to his job. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. He will not take revenge. You understand? According to him, his father trained him not to kick his enemy when he's on the ground. Okay, so this kind of thing. What kind of a husband, what kind of a wife are you? Do you still love your husband? Do you still love your wife? What kind of generation are we looking at? Would your son or your daughter be proud of the parents that they are having? This is a message today. Magoha has finished his race. He has left a very wonderful, beautiful legacy. Would you, just within 2 years or 2 months or 3 months of not having a child, start moving from Jerusalem to Galilee in search of a child? Remember, Magoha put his wife's life first. I will marry you. I want you alive. I want you alive with a leg or without leg. He also prayed that God would take him first. Because according to him, if the wife should leave, he would not survive it. And that kind of desire God granted. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. God has given him, a long life. He prospered in all his ways. He left a very beautiful legacy. And that is exactly what I would want us to learn from him. Even though he married a foreigner, he wasn't treated like a foreigner in Nigeria. Nigerians are so proud of Barbara Odudu, the wife. When you represent your people, this is something we need to learn. We Nigerian wives, as I speak to you, we are taught on how to be respectful to our husbands. Okay? So please, whether you married a foreigner or not, value what God has given you. Okay? So we thank God for his life. We adore God for what he has done for him. And it is our prayer that God grant him eternal rest. For those of you who are going to get married, who have been married already, please learn one or two things from our late Magoha. It is our prayer that God grants the family that he left behind the fortitude to bear the loss. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this video useful, please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe and like. May the good Lord whom you serve, whom you believe, bless you, provide your heart desire, give you a good wife, help you to go wherever you go and conquer, and give you long life like Magoha, even more. Thank you so much. God bless.